Growing up in a small town like Adams has some real advantages and some real opportunities. As a kid growing up, I just remember knowing pretty much all the people in town. There's a real sense of community there. In high school, you know, one of my favorite classes was math. You know, and math kind of led to accounting classes, and accounting led into business. I was working with TCF Bank in Rochester. It's 1992. Bob Brinkman, a name many of you probably know. Bob Brinkman was with TCF Bank here in Austin, and he said, "Randy, we want you to come and run the bank in Austin. We want you to be the bank manager down here." And we thought about that for a minute. I said, you know, seems like a good fit. I'm kind of from down this area, so we came here in 1992. When I was new in town, you know, you've heard the term join the chamber. Well, what does that mean exactly? You don't start to get benefits from the chamber just by signing up. You got to show up. Showing up means, you know, by going to business after hours on a monthly basis, build the relationships, but also I joined a committee. It was a business education committee. And that, you know, a little bit more skin in the game, a little bit more of a commitment where you'd meet on a regular basis, and just, it's a, you know, a kind of a subset of the whole chamber that shows up for business after hours. Getting active in the chamber is critical. Joining a service club in town, I was lucky enough to join the Early Riser Kiwanis Club. The biggest benefit that came out of that is I met somebody named Webb Davis. Webb Davis worked at what was now called Ameriprise Financial, and after I got to know Webb for a couple of years, he says, "Randy, you might be good at, you know, at this industry. Have you ever liked investment planning and all that goes with it?" I said, "Yeah, let's talk." So Webb and I became business partners along with Greg Thone, and we built a business and a relationship that's now lasted for over 30 years. Getting involved in capital campaigns is a unique experience. I think what really appeals is the challenge, and when you look at what the end result is that you're working for. The first campaign was for the Hormel Historic Home, for the expansion project there. At the time, there was a building connected to what's now the Hormel home. It was called the Carriage House. Carriage House had been there for decades. But the vision was, in order to really get that place to where it needed to be, we needed a more modern facility. And it took quite a bit of convincing to get people to understand that we need to take that down. It took time, but people, through conversations at length, people begin to buy into it, and it worked. So it's what you have today is a wonderful facility that's really thriving for Austin, is really one of the jewels of the community. The campaign for Pacelli was a little bit different animal, where we weren't really building a building. The majority of the campaign was to be able to provide scholarships for students, to keep tuition rates affordable. We did a small number of, you know, capital improvements like a furnace and other smaller items, but the majority of that capital campaign money went to basically provide services directly to the students. The campaign for the Paramount was probably the simplest of the three campaigns that I've worked with. Many people in the community had seen this as a need for quite a while before we kicked off the campaign, and we're really pleased with how this has turned out here at the Paramount. I think it's been really rewarding to be able to work on community projects that I think will have a lasting impact on the community, something that'll help move the community forward. Something that'll help strengthen Austin, make it more appealing for people that live here, people that might be moving here in the future. And I think that's probably the most rewarding part of all these projects that we've worked on over the years together, is that it makes Austin a better place.